Helen,
And I'm Liz,
and we're sisters
scientists,
and lifelong X-Files fans.
and this is We Want to Believe.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome, colleagues.
Welcome, colleagues. It is our last week of classes. We were just talking about grading and the end of the semester.
It's not my last week of classes. It's Helen's last week of classes, not mine. To make it
Oh,
very clear. Yeah.
sorry. Do you have one more week?
It's okay. Yeah, I have one more week and
Okay.
then finals. So
Okay. You started a week later than us.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, believe you me, I am phoning it in.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
mm.
I don't know what the hell August Helen was thinking, but I planned new material for this week. And to remind everyone of the calendar, Thanksgiving
It goes
was late.
January, February.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Thanksgiving.
It was a late Thanksgiving.
It was
yeah.
a late Thanksgiving. And so we only have 1 week of classes after Thanksgiving and then finals. So we're just coming up after
That's
1 week.
weird
And
timing.
I planned new material for most of this week for
No,
one of my
that's
classes.
madness.
It
That's
was real
madness.
dumb. It was
Yeah.
real dumb. Yeah.
I have new material this week, but I have an extra week, so it makes sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know why no one wants to be doing anything this week. It doesn't seem
don't.
worth it. No,
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything for us before we talk about
Anything spooky? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
neither.
We did at our family Thanksgiving, we did discuss Muskrat Love a little bit more. We saw that the highest it ever got on the Billboard charts was number 67. That's still too high, in my opinion. Helen still hasn't listened to it.
No.
Our producer, Zach, said it would be too complicated with laws for us to play some of it on our podcast. So please go and listen to a little bit of it. See how far you can get before you turn it off.
Oh, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
See, how many
I
minutes?
only made it through because I felt a professional obligation for this podcast. So,
Oh man.
yeah. Which is a weird thing to say. I don't know if that's quite right, but yeah.
Yeah, I haven't bothered, honestly. Like
So
we
you've
discussed
made it
last
zero minutes.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I listened to enough terrible music
Mm.
against my will
You
that I
should
don't
make your
know.
kids listen to Muskrat Love.
Yeah,
It's
again,
appropriate.
Though I think we discussed this too, that they would just end up liking it to spite
Mm.
me.
Yeah.
One of the smartest
That would be a
things-
really funny joke to play on them, though, to trick them into liking Muskrat Love.
Yeah, that's true. One of the smartest things I have ever done was we were around, I think we were around our mother and we were talking about Rolling Stones songs. And I'm
Mm.
really not a big Stones fan. There's
Oh.
a few songs
Mm.
of theirs I like.
Hmm.
But for the most part, I don't like them.
I don't love
um,
that, but we'll go past it.
It's fine. Like I said, there are a few that I really like.
Sympathy for the Devil?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Great. Give Me Shelter.
Let's spend the night together?
Take it or leave it. Fine.
Okay.
But
Whatever.
I hate the song. Oh shoot, what is
You
it?
can't always get what you want.
Yes,
Is that
I
the one
hate
you
that
hate?
song.
Yeah.
I hate
yeah.
that song. And William overheard me. This was maybe 2 years ago or a year. He
Mhm.
overheard me talking about this to our mother, and he said, "What song? What song is it that you really dislike?" And I could just tell. And so I said,
Oh.
I hate the song Painted Black by the Rolling Stones, which I love.
Oh, smart.
And then he went on a kick for a while of playing Painted Black to annoy me.
Oh my God.
And
That
I
was
would,
smart. That was quick
yes,
thinking.
One of the smartest things I've ever done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. I've probably shared this on the podcast before that for most of my life, I thought You Can't Always Get What You Want had a verse about the devil.
Really? No, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
Because there's this part where he's like, okay, I went down to the Chelsea drugstore to get your prescription filled. I was standing in line with Mr. Jimmy, blah, blah, blah. I sung my song to Mr. Jimmy. Anyway, what I thought that he was saying was, I sold my soul to Mr. Jimmy. And I thought Mr. Jimmy was the devil. And that is what was going on. And I was like, I really don't get what's happening here. He's like getting a cherry red soda with the devil. What does it mean?
That
And
that would
I mean, I was probably in my
maybe improve
30s when I
it
found out.
for
Yeah,
me.
because I don't hate that song, and I feel like maybe
Yeah.
it's because I thought it was also about the devil. Maybe because it's like I'd heard Sympathy for the Devil and that around the same time.
Yeah.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, they just do devil-based songs. Okay.
Oh,
It just
yeah.
shows up somewhere.
No,
Mr.
Sympathy for the
Jimmy.
Devil is a great song.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yes. But I feel at the very least mediocre about most of their
Hmm.
stuff. I like Mother's Little Helper. That's one,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Is that the
that's
name of
good.
it?
Yeah, yeah.
And Ruby Tuesday is fine.
Yeah.
So there I
You
like
actually
some, but
like
I
a
just
decent number of Stone
yeah,
songs.
yeah.
How about
But
Start It Up? Do you like Start It Up?
no, no.
Is
Mm-mm.
it just overplayed? Because that's how I feel kind of about it and about
Maybe.
Satisfaction. Like I've just heard it too
Oh,
much to really get into it.
yeah, I don't like Satisfaction
I feel
at
like
all.
Satisfaction is the one that our mom said some neighbor would play over and over and
Oh,
over on the
really?
guitar. I think that's that song. She'll have to let us know. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So
Um,
anyway, that's our classic rock
yeah,
update. I don't
I
know.
know.
Yeah, I
I
don't think I
don't
have
even know
anything
where that was
else.
going.
Yeah.
But we are I watched. You are listening to a recap of the episode 731.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
talked last week about what that means, what that stands for, the history a little bit behind it. And today we're going to talk a lot about infectious diseases. I'm very excited. This
Oh,
was a
I'm so
great
happy for
episode.
you.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
that's
me to watch.
great. Excellent. And speaking of
Yes.
infectious diseases, if my voice sounds a little off, I have a bit of a cold, so
Yeah.
we'll see how it
I
holds up.
same.
Yeah.
Um,
It's winter. Of course we
yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. So they give a little recap in the beginning. And to recap you all, Scully had
Yeah.
an implant in her neck and it's probably really bad. And she met women who've been probably abducted by aliens. And Mulder was doing things that Skinner told him not to do. And he jumped on a train as Scully was saying, Mulder, don't get on that train.
Yep.
And that's where we're
And
left.
X
So
was with
Mulder,
Scully
yes,
when,
X is with Scully.
yeah.
Mulder is on top of a train.
Yes.
Okay. So then the cold open. So there's like the little recap first.
Mhm.
That shows us military trucks driving into an abandoned looking place. That has a sign, an old looking sign that labels it as Hansen's Disease Research Facility.
You must have been thrilled.
I was thrilled. There are a few other episodes that I am hoping I get. I can't even remember exact ones, but I'm very glad this was mine. Do you know what Hansen's disease is?
Oh, I thought it was the person who built the facility.
Like Hansen's disease
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. I get it. It's a research facility for Hansen's disease. I thought it was
Yes.
like Mr. Hansen built this disease research facility.
So no, you don't. No.
No.
Okay. I think I'm going to talk about it in a bit. So
Okay.
people can be in suspense if they're not biologists. So some military trucks are driving in, and they get a bunch of people out of a building and onto a truck, and we can kind of see the point of view of someone who's like watching this happen.
Mhm.
And it's like they're purposely kind of vague about like not showing details of the people that are being led onto a truck. Like it shows like that they have like kind of long, thin fingers. It's like kind of like,
So they're like
we're supposed
maybe
to think,
aliens?
right. That's
Yeah.
what we're supposed to be thinking. And a man,
On the other hand, so do I.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A man is hiding. So he's who is watching and follows them out, follows the trucks and watches them go into the woods and watches the military shoot all of them.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And then the credits roll and apology is policy is what it says.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh.
Yep. So Scully is talking to X and she wants X to tell her what's on the train, like why Mulder shouldn't have gotten on it.
Right.
And
Right.
he won't. Because he's X. And he basically tells her that it all starts and ends with her implant.
Oh.
So Mulder is on the train. He made it from the roof into it.
Oh, he into the train. Okay.
Into the train now. Yep. And he's poking around, and there's a door with a keypad that says quarantine outside of it. So a big metal door that says quarantine on it, and then like a little keypad so he can't get into it. And he contacts the conductor, who we've always liked. I don't know if you remember this guy. We've always felt like he was so helpful and like just like a great
does he
character.
die?
No, actually, he doesn't. He's fine.
Oh, I don't remember him, honestly.
Yeah. And so he's being real helpful, and Mulder asks him to open the car door, so open the quarantined one, and he says he doesn't have access. But he does say that there was a doctor on board who came aboard at the same time that they hooked up that train car, and the doctor keeps checking on the door. And that it's a Japanese fella named Dr. Shirozama.
Man, he just gives up all that information. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mulder shows his ID.
I guess that's true. Yeah. He's not
good.
just being chatty. Yeah.
Yeah. So Mulder has the conductor show him to the doctor's door, and they and then like unlock it, step away so Mulder can get inside when the doctor doesn't answer. And it's empty. He's not in there, but they find his notebooks. And so Mulder grabs like his briefcase and his notebooks and stuff and tells the conductor to put it in a safe place. He also then gives the conductor a gun, which, now then he like right after giving it shows that it's unloaded.
Okay.
And like shows and says like, don't pull the trigger or it'll give it away. But still, I feel like that's a pretty irresponsible thing to do.
I just feel like this poor conductor. Can't you just be like, go lock yourself in your conducting room or whatever?
And he says to if he sees the doctor before Mulder does, to have him lie on the ground. So he's supposed to apprehend him with this unloaded gun.
This doctor is the guy that Scully remembers from her abductions.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we see Scully with at the FBI with the agent Pendrell. They say the FBI agent with red hair who likes Scully. You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
I forgot about him.
Yeah, this nice young agent that like is kind of a running. We haven't seen him yet, I don't think, or if we have,
I saw him in the last episode, and I was like, "Oh, this helpful guy. He's so familiar."
Yeah,
he's the one who looked at her microchip and said it's a microchip,
right? And so that's what they're talking about. So they're looking at some like readings he got off the chip or something. And based on its location at the back of the neck, he thinks it would be tracking impulses to and from the central nervous system. But he thinks that the chip is replicating the memory function in the brain. And he keeps talking about neural networks, which I think is like a buzzword at the time. Now I know them as like a thing I do in stats to like predict stuff.
Yeah.
And he says that it is artificially replicating a person's mental processes. So basically, you could know a person's every thought.
Okay, that is wild. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I was too excited about the disease stuff to really want to get into it. Except
That's fair.
that, like, there was a very big, like, ooh, artificial intelligence vibe.
I mean, I have that vibe every day, as we've talked about. But yeah.
Do you? Have we?
Artificial intelligence? Well, we were just talking about what a pain it is that students are like using it to write papers. And it's like, I hate that it's like, it seems like every company is going all in. Every single travel company is like, now with a new AI assistant. And I want to be like, I don't trust these. How about I use my brain? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, it's agreed. Yeah. And like
not in a, it's going to read my every thought sort of way, though.
Right. That's what I thought you meant. But no, absolutely. Especially like for
kind of the
writers
opposite.
And, yeah. And authors and like it's just
creators. It's not
bad
good.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say that it has been helpful when I do super like menial tasks associated to work sometimes. Like The other day, I was like, I need to put these notes of mine in order real quick before I have to teach, to make sense of how I should proceed with my lecture. And I was running late and hadn't done it because, as discussed, I stupidly planned new material for this week and completely
Right.
forgot about it.
Ooh.
And then it like wrote me a nice little outline of the stuff that I had already written, and it was
Whoa,
good.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
saw my vet when I had
oh
Archer,
yeah,
our vet had started doing AI note taking, and I saw the
oh,
notes and they were like technically correct, but I felt they didn't capture the spirit of things. Like they brought
mm,
up some concern I had, but it was more, it's me, and I'm just like, I mean, I don't know, it could it be this, and I'm just kind of talking off the cuff, but the AI assistant didn't get my
oh,
vibe. So
yeah,
yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Um, the
I
other
wanted to be
day,
like, I spoke with a lot more humor. Come on.
there should be asterisks involved around
Yeah,
your,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The other day I looked something up. I can't even remember what it was, but it was like a fact I couldn't remember. Like I was just like double checking myself on
Hmm.
something, and it was just straight up wrong again.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
Google AI was just like, no, this is straight up the wrong answer.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, don't believe it.
yeah.
Anyway, I am not concerned, however, like, oh, it's gonna know our thoughts. We're creating
No,
people. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but that was the vibe here.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. And apparently it was so delicate that when he was working on it, he effectively destroyed it.
Ooh.
Um, but he got the manufacturer's name, which had no hits anywhere in the US or in Japan. It was a Japanese name for the
Hmm.
manufacturer,
Hmm.
except for one computer record from the post office of a shipment sent to Shirozama at a research facility in West Virginia.
Oh, and West Virginia is where all this stuff was happening in the last episode.
Yes, and that's where the Hansen's disease research facility
Ah, okay.
is as well. I forgot to mention. And so Scully says, "Good work, Agent Pendrell," and kind of like puts her hand on his arm as she's like walking away.
Hmm.
And he goes, "Keep it up yourself." And she kind of walks out, and then
Hmm.
it shows just him, and he mutters, "Keep it up yourself." What a doof. And
Oh, buddy.
yeah. Um, so then we see a Japanese man, presumably, because that's who we're looking for, walking on the train. And then there's a
Hmm.
guy who looks like Willem Dafoe following him. And I'm wondering, last time you talked about,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. He does look like Willem Dafoe.
yeah, doesn't he?
He's like an
Yeah,
off-brand store version of Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, there is a new version of Nosferatu coming out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I saw an ad for
Ooh.
it while I was watching this episode.
Oh,
So
cool.
it's exciting.
Yeah.
Because Willem Dafoe was in was it just called Nosferatu or was it
No, that
no?
was
It
Shadow of the
was
Vampire.
yeah, Shadow of the Vampire.
Yeah.
That's right.
I had something I wanted to say about vampires. When I
Ooh,
was doing a book event in Joliet a few weeks ago, um, people a lot already, as I think I've mentioned, want to come up and talk to you about their own project. But this guy came up to me and I actually was like, okay, this is awesome. He's a filmmaker and he just had a lot of questions about the process of book publishing and like traditional publishing versus self-publishing. And he and I were just chatting for a long time because he's making a film and he was thinking about like, does it make sense to also write up like a novelization for additional promotion? He's doing this indie film. It seems like he has actual connections in the indie film industry in Chicago.
cool.
And he's like working with some people who'd also worked on Chicago Fire.
Oh,
And
whoa.
he showed me the little like teaser trailer, like it hasn't been made yet, but like to promo excitement thing. But the concept is like Chicago gangsters except vampires. And and it like the little like tagline thing was like, everybody knows about the gangs in Chicago and the violence and the corruption, but nobody talks about the vampires. And I was just like, yes, this is amazing. So I really hope that this all happens for him because I think it sounds
Oh man,
fantastic.
I love it. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so the guy who looks like Willem Dafoe is following Shirozama, presumably,
Mhm.
on the train. and he follows him into an empty cabin, which I think we later find out is like a bathroom, and strangles him with wires.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So then we see a car driving at night. It's Scully, and she's outside the research facility, presumably because of Agent Pendrell, etc., getting the address. And she sees people running, like in her headlights, in her flashlight, actually. And so she follows them inside the building, and it shows them hiding under the floorboards, but there's like a wire sticking out for them to pull to get under the floorboards when they're outside of that. And so she pulls up the hatch, and it's the leprosy patients.
I'm sorry, did we know there were leprosy patients?
Yes, because Hansen's disease is the old name for leprosy.
Oh, leprosy is the more modern name?
Leprosy is the more scientific name. So it's like consumption versus tuberculosis.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So tell me, what do you know about leprosy? We found out you don't know much about Hansen's disease.
Yeah. Somebody was just talking about mbop at Thanksgiving too. Anyway,
the disease
what do I know
that
about
plagued
leprosy?
the 90s.
Yeah, I think it's gross and parts of you fall off and you have sores. I just made that up, but it seems like it's probably true. And they used to have colonies to keep other people from getting it, I'm guessing, to kind of like keep you away. And then I'm pretty sure nowadays there's a cure.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much about leprosy. I mean, I don't know, maybe more than like 90% of people know about leprosy.
I would imagine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I wonder how much do I know? How many more people in the world do you think know more about leprosy than me?
I mean, probably
10%?
several. Yeah. I mean,
you think 10% of people?
I think tops.
Oh, you think it could be less?
Yeah, I think it could be less.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know a lot about infectious disease.
Yeah. Tuberculosis would be more though. So I know not that much about leprosy. Right. It would be less people that know more than me.
Yes.
Still quite a few, to be clear. So leprosy is caused by Mycobacterium leprae, which is
that one of those ones that's like turquoise? Did I make that up? Is that insane?
Turquoise?
No.
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 I don't think so. What ones are turquoise?
It felt like I said it with such confidence. Okay. Like,
if you do an acid fast stain, it'll stain green, but like a very bright green.
The prefix myco, what does that mean?
Oh, so well, mycobacteria refer to the genus Mycobacterium. Myco, sometimes you will see it mean like fungus. Yeah. Like mycology. In this case, it's not referring to that though.
Okay. It doesn't mean
turquoise?
Bluish green?
Myco? Does it? MYCO?
No, I feel like there's some sort of bluish green bacteria.
I mean, sure.
Do they have a special name? Blue green bacteria name? Cyanobacteria. That's blue-green algae. Okay.
Yeah.
Cyanobacteria. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Well,
I get
mystery
it.
solved. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No, these guys are not turquoise.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but it is related. It's the same genus as tuberculosis. So Mycobacterium leprae, Mycobacterium tuberculosis.
Oh, okay.
So they are the same genus. They're not really, the presentation of symptoms isn't very similar. What you said about them causing skin diseases, etc., is pretty spot on. Like it can cause limbs occasionally to fall off, or like, digits in like really severe circumstances. It can cause like sores on the body, things like that. From an archaeological standpoint, we will sometimes see lesions on the bones, that are more closely, more close in proximity to the skin. Like for example, in tuberculosis, sometimes we'll see lesions on the ribs and the thoracic vertebrae. With leprosy, sometimes we'll see it on like the shin bones, and things like that. So it's
I
primarily
often think
a skin
about
disease.
how close to the skin my shin bone is.
Yeah, pretty.
I don't like it. Sometimes I feel
Really?
if I itch too hard.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I once did a box jump at the gym on a metal box, and what was the word?
Oh,
Basically, my
yeah.
skin got peeled up like a piece of saran wrap, and
Oh.
it was real
Could
bad.
you couldn't see the bone though, right?
I don't think so, but I know
Yeah.
that no, surely not. I
Mm-mm.
know that Adam was at work and I was like, look, I haven't looked right at it because I'm freaked out. And he's like, okay, yeah, I'll take a look when I get home. And he's clearly thinking, Liz is freaked out by this stuff. And he looked at it and he was like, oh, we're going to urgent care. Like,
Oh.
and I still have a scar, and that was almost 5 years ago. So sometimes
Oh.
when I'm itching that scar on my shin, I think, is it thinner there? Am I going to just like get right into the bone? It's right there.
No.
Anyway.
You won't.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. You won't.
Yeah.
No.
It was I can't think of the word when your skin gets all scrunched up, but it was not good and they had to numb me up and cut it off and it was gross. Yeah.
Ow. Oh, that sounds so painful.
Yeah. Well, not once they numbed me, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also had them give me a flu shot at the same time, and a friend had been texting me and I was telling her that I was nervous and what was happening, and she's like, "Oh, anything I can do to help?" And I was like, "I want you to text me all the things you think are good about me so I can read them." I'm like, just keep texting me compliments while this happens.
That's great. So primarily skin disease. The reason why there were these quote unquote leper colonies, or places where people with leprosy would just be taken to basically live out the rest of their lives, was because there was a bit of a false notion of how contagious it is. Like, it is pretty contagious, but not necessarily for the lifespan, and not like you can't be around a person with it. It also has been, it can be treated with antibiotics. So it is in places where there is ready access to antibiotics, like the US. It's not really a concern at all anymore.
So why do we have people at this facility then?
I'll get there, but first I have to talk about armadillos.
Great. Because when we first got on the call today, Helen said something about armadillos, and I thought, I hope this is for the podcast, but it's probably for something else. But I'm excited.
Yeah,
let's talk about them.
You should be. Armadillos are a natural host of leprosy, so you should not go around petting 9-banded armadillos. 3-banded armadillos are all good for the playing with. I mean, presumably, I don't know. Talk to a vet. But or an armadillo. I don't know. But 9-banded armadillos are a natural reservoir of leprosy. So don't touch.
Man, something about the word reservoir there is especially disturbing. I don't know.
That's all.
But the 3 bands are okay. They don't carry it.
No, they don't. No. Yeah.
Does it make the armadillos have leprosy, or they're just carriers?
No, it doesn't. They're just carriers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is that how most people get leprosy? No, surely not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, person-to-person contact is how most people would get it. I want to say there might be more natural reservoirs, but again, I don't know much about leprosy. I could tell you all about seals and tuberculosis, but
really, do you get TB from seals?
Yep, Mycobacterium pinnipedi. Like pinnipeds are seals. That is where Mycobacterium tuberculosis most likely originated from. Where it evolved from was pinnipedi in seals.
Seals.
Yeah.
And I remember you asking me, are seals or sea lions cuter? And I voted sea lions, and you told me I was wrong.
You are. Yeah. Yeah. And the people I polled on Instagram also, it was heavily seal focused. Based. I don't know. Yeah. Most people
the seals won.
But yeah, I don't like their stupid little ears.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I feel really mean. It's not like I would like not save a sea lion if it was in trouble, because of the stupid
that
ears.
didn't even cross my mind.
Okay. Well, like, so I'm not going to take it out on them,
Okay. What?
I don't know.
But they have cute ears. They're
no, I disagree.
Sea lions.
I would say hippos have cute ears.
Yeah, but more than one thing can have ears that are cute.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like similar shaped ears.
Do they make you uncomfortable because you feel like they could get ripped off too easy?
Let me look at a picture.
They're so goofy. I haven't never really thought about their ears too much.
I mean, okay, now looking at pictures, they kind of remind me of Gatsby.
Yeah.
They look kind of dumb, and that reminds me of him.
Oh my God, look at you guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about the ears. There's something, I don't know. Some of these are really cute though, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like they shouldn't be there. I don't know. There's something unsettling
they do look a little odd. I will give you that, but I think I've met a sea lion and
that's right.
I did not notice the ears. And it was a wild one. It was not a planned encounter in some weird zoo or something. We were kayaking. Kayaking in Santa Barbara, and he swam up and was like, "Hey guys, let's play." And he just like swam around us, and I patted him.
Oh
and
my
it
gosh.
was like the best moment of my life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
We named him Lionel.
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know what he named us, but yeah.
That's pretty cool. No, and again, like I would be enchanted if I met a sea lion, to be clear.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't met a seal, about the ears. So yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really like I don't know. I feel like seals give me my dog Leo vibes, whereas sea lions give me my dog Gatsby vibes, where like they just look a little dumb.
I mean, I do feel like when dogs put their ears back, they look like a seal.
Yeah.
And I guess then the sea lion ears get in the way of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, the Dutch word for seal.
Mm-mm.
Zeehond, which means sea dog.
Oh,
yeah.
Good little sea dogs.
Yeah, there's a place that because they have seals in the Netherlands, on the North Sea, and I follow a place that does rehabilitates injured seals and releases them back into the wild, and it's Zeehonden Peterburen or something like that. Yeah, Zeehonden.
Oh, you should send me something of theirs so I can follow them as well.
Yeah.
So Mulder is still on the train. Okay, so Scully pulls up the hatch and there's leprosy patients. Back to Mulder.
Mulder is on the train. The Japanese doctor is dead. The fake Willem Dafoe is out and about. The conductor has a gun with no bullets in it. Okay.
Yep. Yes. And so Mulder is walking around still trying to find Dr. Zama. And he walks into a bathroom and finds him dead on the floor. And there is a poor woman with her son who's trying to come in the bathroom, and she screams, and Mulder says, "Oh, it's just motion sickness."
Oh God. Yeah.
Oh. So then back with Scully.
There are not patients. There are passengers on this train.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a passenger train. Yeah. Yeah. Not a cargo train.
And it's also not just individual rooms. It's there's people sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the people have come out of hiding and they're talking to Scully. And the one man in particular, who was the one that we saw in the intro, tells her that they live there. She's asking, "What are you doing here?" And that they have for most of their lives. And he says the facility's been closed for years, though. And Scully says that she's looking for Dr. Zama, and he knows the name and says that Dr. Zama isn't there anymore and that all the medical staff have left right before the death squads started coming.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
This is some dark shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So he says that's why they've been hiding. They're worried about being killed just like all the others. And so he takes her out through the woods and She asked, like, how could there be hundreds of you who have lived there when leprosy is a curable disease? And he said that some of them had been there, like him, for years before there was a treatment, which this I didn't look into specifically. I know that widespread antibiotics were coming into use in like the 40s. So I don't know when he was supposed to be there. I don't know.
Was he super old?
No, but I mean, it was mid 90s. So if he was over 50, you know.
Oh my God. Hold on, Helen.
Huh.
According to Google, there is the best, like the modern treatment for leprosy, started in 82.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, there were other things like, yeah, in the 40s, there was some sort of treatment that was developed and showed some promise,
sure.
apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, based on my very cursory Googling, it seems like the cure, like not just the treatment that helped, but the cure was 82.
Wow. Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I did not know that. Wow. So some of them had been there for years before there was treatment. But then new people started coming who had the same disfigurements. And Zama would try to heal them, but they would always come back worse with terrible burns. And then he shows her the latest mass grave that we saw at the beginning.
Oh, God.
And then, of course, helicopters show up.
Of course.
And people run into the woods and they hold Scully at gunpoint and you hear shots nearby. So we're not sure what happens.
The military who arrived holds Scully at gunpoint? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So Mulder is on the train and he tells the conductor about Zama and to go tell the engineer to stop the train until Mulder finds the killer.
Mm-hmm.
And Mulder is looking around and sees the quarantine door is now open.
Ooh.
And so he goes inside and there's like another smaller chamber within the room. And so he's back there.
I believe in the previous episode, we saw what I believe was implied to be an alien perhaps getting put into that chamber.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. And so he's looking within that door, looking through the window of the other one, and he sees someone inside of it. You see like an eye, and then he sees the reflection of the man with the piano wires right behind him. And yeah, they start fighting. But then the conductor shows up and gets the guy to get off Mulder by holding him at gunpoint.
Yay!
Yeah. It's awesome. And the other guy says he's law enforcement. And
the killer guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't remember exactly. He's gonna I think he's getting out his badge to show the conductor, but it seems suspicious. And so the conductor runs and slams the quarantine door, so locking him and Mulder in there so he can't get anywhere.
But Mulder's in there with him.
Right. But Mulder is also armed. And so Mulder tells him to put his hands in the air and turn around.
Okay.
And the guy says that he works for NSA, who we love because they know everything. And so we love the NSA here. We want to believe.
Yes, the official podcast of the NSA. No, just like, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go along with that one. I tried to rile up Scientologists, but it didn't seem to work. But
more afraid of the NSA than Scientologists.
I think I am. Yeah. Or I believe in their ability to listen to our podcast. Anyone could listen to our podcast. What am I saying? That's actually the point.
Yeah, that actor who plays Willem Dafoe could be listening right now.
Who plays Willem Dafoe?
Oh, yeah.
I really like the idea that in the X-Files universe, Willem Dafoe, the actor, is killing these people, and he works for the NSA.
Did I tell you about the George Washington thing between me and Zach in the car? Okay,
I don't think
who's
so.
the name of the guy who plays Washington and Hamilton? Christopher Jackson? Is that it?
That's certainly a name.
I'll be able to tell real. Yeah, Christopher Jackson.
Okay.
So that's the actor who plays George Washington and Hamilton.
Yeah.
And he's also been in other stuff though. So he did the singing for the dad's voice in the first Moana.
Oh, okay.
And which we just saw the second Moana. I feel weird calling it first versus like the first Moana. The second one was fine. It wasn't great. We all kind of agreed. Like, it was entertaining to see in theaters, but like it's not going to become like a staple.
Okay.
So we were driving to Texas on a road trip years ago, and one of the songs by Moana's dad comes on our playlist. And Zach, referring to the actor Christopher Jackson, who plays Moana's dad as well, says, "Oh, is this the one that George Washington sings?" And I said, "Oh, no, it's Christopher Jackson." He was like, "Did you think that I actually thought George Washington sang this?"
What did you mean?
I don't know. I was driving. I don't know. I've been in the car for a long time. So the guy who works for the NSA, and so Mulder says, "Well, since when do they start issuing you guys piano wires instead of guns?"
Oh, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And the guy says, "Since we learned there was a bomb on this train," which is a good comeback. Apparently there's a bomb on the train.
But we know it's a lie because we watched him piano wire a different dude in the last episode in the train station.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what he had done.
Yeah, well, he killed a guy. I think it was probably the piano wire. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so he says that because of what's in that car, so referring to the patient of some sort, the man responsible, Zama, was apparently trying to smuggle it out of the country. And he says that he killed Zama because under the circumstances, it was the more humane thing to do. So,
as opposed to what? Oh,
letting him continue with his work.
Okay.
Basically.
All right. Okay.
So the guards bring Scully to inside somewhere in one of the buildings. And we hear a voice say, "I'd like to speak to Miss Scully alone." And it's the syndicate member that people sometimes call the Fat Man. Do you know him?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he's there. And he says that all the people who were there had all been exposed to the experiments of a man named Zama. And he says he wants to show her something. So she goes with him. So the conductor on the train is outside the door, and Mulder's talking to him, and they're, trying to figure out how to open it. And they're talking about maybe prying it open. But the NSA guy says that prying it open would set off the explosive. And so the NSA guy tells Mulder the code, but he doesn't think that the exit and the entrance codes are the same. So he thinks he only has the entrance code. And so doesn't think that Mulder should try it because it might set off the bomb. But Mulder thinks he's lying about everything, including the bomb, and working for the NSA.
I'm inclined to think the same thing. But
so
keep
Mulder
talking.
tries the entrance code, and he's like about to push the enter, and the guy's cell phone rings, and so there's like a moment. You know, the alarm goes off, and they both jump. So the guy answers and talks for a minute and says it's for Mulder, and it is Scully.
Whoa!
Yep, the Fat Man had called this guy for Scully to talk to Mulder. She says that she's in West Virginia, and she is currently standing in a train car that looks like, well, no, she doesn't tell us this yet, but she is standing in a train car that looks like the one Mulder's on. She says she's in West Virginia, and she says that what's on the train is human, and that Zama was experimenting on innocent human subjects. And she tells him that the train car that she's on is the same one she was abducted onto. And it's the same one that was also in the autopsy video. And she thinks Zama was the one who abducted them, and alien abduction has just been a smokescreen to hide what the government has been allowing. So Mulder asks about the UFO, though, that he saw them working on in the last episode. And she says that it was a Russian submarine.
I mean, it was technically covered with a white sheet, so we couldn't, know that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that apparently just last week, the president apologized for radiation tests that have been going on since 1974, except those tests never ended. And this is part of it. And she says, Mulder, listen to me. You have got to stay out of that train car. And he says, why? And she says, because there's a bomb on board.
Oh,
And, he's locked in there currently.
yeah.
In a very, I kept picturing that emoji, the like eye roll one, and like imagining like that's how I'd want to respond to like all of this if I were Scully. So she says if that bomb detonates, thousands of people are going to die from hemorrhagic fever. That's what the test subject inside has been exposed to. I'll try to make this quick. Hemorrhagic fever is a virus. It is in no way related to leprosy, or any bacterium because it's a virus. And I don't know why they think they have it. I used to be fascinated with hemorrhagic fever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because there were outbreaks of it, of a new one in the southwestern United States in the 90s.
I remember you talking about that. Do you think armadillos were involved?
Oh, maybe they're the ones behind it all along. Those 9-banded guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a hemorrhagic fever is basically one that's going to make you bleed a lot. Like heme. And so like Ebola is a type of hemorrhagic fever.
Oh, okay.
But there are, differing degrees of them, different ones. And there was an outbreak of Sinambra virus in the southwestern United States in the 90s. And it was primarily spread through rodent droppings.
Okay.
Maybe urine, but rodents essentially. So what I'm getting at is I don't know why they think this.
Okay. Also, how would the bomb going off give people hemorrhagic fever as opposed to just killing them?
I can't explain that either.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless there's like reservoirs on it on the train that'll aerosolize it or something. But also like it doesn't cause, they had said like that the people in the research facility had similar disfigurements, right? The guy with leprosy had said that. So I don't know. And also the person or whoever on the train is like standing there. Hemorrhagic fever makes you like really sick. So
so there's some doubts.
Yes, yeah. There's and Mulder says, well, Scully, you're a little late. And she says, okay, well, she'll talk him through it because it's the same model, the one that she's currently in. And so she can see where the bomb is on her model. So she tells Mulder.
They just like put a model bomb on that one, like for practice? Okay.
I don't know. That's a really good question. Or maybe it's like not turned on. I don't know. She tells them to open up a ventilation grid on the ceiling. And Toombs is there. No, I'm kidding.
No. Oh, that'd be awesome. Oh my God. Oh, now you get chopped up by an escalator. That'd be so awesome though.
Yeah. And the timer on the bomb says 1.5 hours. So there is a bomb and they have an hour and a half left.
Ooh.
So Scully tells them to stop at the next station, so that they can get a bomb squad on board. And Mulder, I think this is when I had my eye roll emoji appear in my brain, is pretending he doesn't hear her, that the phone is breaking up. She's saying, stop at the next station. He's going, what, Scully? And hangs up.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So, Mulder asks the conductor where they are. He says they're in Iowa. And Mulder says to tell the engineer to not stop at their scheduled next stop, but to pick a place as far away from anywhere as possible, and then to unhook the car. So that to get the people on the train away to like get them isolated.
Yeah.
And Mulder thinks that if what's on the train is really that important, they'll find them anyway. So that's what they do. So they unhook things. So then it's a little while later and he calls Scully and he says, Scully, you haven't seen America since you've been seeing it from a train. And she's in the car and is all pissed at him and says, damn, Mulder, what happened? And she says that if she's right, then she says they won't want to be near to help because of the possible contamination spread of whatever it might be. But Mulder thinks that if he's right about what's on the train, then they'll come to save it. So are they going to come to save it? Or and so Mulder and the NSA guy are talking. And Mulder kind of threatens him a bit. And the NSA guy finally says that what's on the train is a weapon. And what's scarier than an army that's immune, what's scarier than that weapon is an army that's immune to that weapon. So I think what they're implying is that whatever is on the train is immune to the effects of these biological weapons, maybe like hemorrhagic fever that have been being developed.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that Zama was trying to smuggle the patient back to Japan to share this information with the Japanese government. But the US government got pissed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so this leads Mulder to say that it's an alien-human hybrid. And the NSA guy says, then again, if that were true, you'd have thought someone would have been here by now to save it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So
they're just like, the clock is ticking down and they're in the middle of nowhere in this train car.
Yes.
Hmm.
So Scully goes to Mulder's apartment and calls Senator Matheson, but can't get through to him.
Oh, okay.
And she also puts an X on the window.
Mm-hmm.
Mulder calls her a little bit later, and she's watching the autopsy video, the one that he had bought, and she sees Zama in it punching in a code. She can see that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. And so she tells Mulder the code. And so he punches it in and the door opens.
Nice.
But right as the door opens, the NSA guy attacks him, Mulder, and knocks him out and leaves him on the train and is about to leave the train altogether when he's shot by X. Yeah. So X is there and he looks at whoever is in this extra compartment, whoever the patient may be. And then we see him carrying Mulder out of the train, which you would have to be extremely strong, I imagine, to carry David Duchovny. He's a tall guy. So X is carrying him out of the train, and it showed like there was like a minute left or something on the bomb. And as he's carrying Mulder away, the train car explodes.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep. So then 1 week later in DC, Mulder says that he can't find any department or anything to say what happened to the train car. Like there's no like records of someone cleaning it up or whatever. And that apparently Senator Matheson isn't responding. Scully says that the hospital where he was admitted says that someone had called and told them of his location. So he was like left by X, presumably. And that the call came from a phone booth in Blue Earth, Iowa. So they don't know it was X that saved him.
Wow. And Mulder doesn't know either because he was knocked out. Yeah.
Right. So she's got the notebooks that Zama left on the train, though.
Right.
That the conductor had given to
that guy's safe. The best. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not the same one. It's like clearly been rewritten. It's a different style of journal. It's, they got to it.
Yeah.
And apparently the bodies at the research facility are also all gone.
Oh, man. What about the people who were living there?
And
they're probably
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And she says that he's basically just helping them by chasing aliens to cover up the truth of whatever is actually going on. And that when the government does this and they can't cover it, they apologize for it. And that apology has become policy. And then we cut to cigarette smoking man talking with a Japanese man and some of that pipe music that signals that Japan is involved.
Yes.
And that's the end.
Do we know what the cigarette smoking man is saying to the man?
Nope. They're just kind of in the same room.
Oh, okay. We can't hear. Okay.
No. And then Revelations is next.
Yeah, which I think Revelations is one that has to do with stigmata.
Oh, is it? I thought it was. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I might be wrong. Something has to do with stigmata someday. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? I might be wrong.
No, I don't know. I don't remember. I just thought I remembered the name of, but I'm thinking of the one with like the seraphim, which I don't know is the same one as what deals with stigmata.
Yeah, it does look like this one does have to do with stigmata. So.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I wonder if you've ever seen that one. I mean, I know I'm the one who's going to watch it, but.
Yeah, I don't think I have. I think because of that, we can talk next time about how scared of stigmata I used to be.
Yeah.
So until then, send us your emails. We haven't had a spooky story in a while.
Yeah, tell
Rate,
us
review,
your
and
weird,
subscribe.
mysterious X-Files events.
Yep. And until next time, bye.
Bye.
We Want to Believe is hosted by Helen Werner and Liz Holden. It's produced by Zach Werner. The We Want to Believe theme music was created and recorded by Zach Werner. Find us at wewanttoBelievePod.com, on Instagram at wewanttoBelievePod, or send us an email at wewanttoBelievepod@gmail.com.